You may think a dog is man's best friend. You've obviously never owned a pig. Now, this was not always the case. Rewind the clock 125, 150 years, everyone listening today would be as intimately familiar with pigs as you are with your smartphone or driving a car today. Now, they're not native to North America, were introduced in the 14 and 1500s and absolutely flourished. In the last century, pigs have faced numerous challenges here, and I fear we've reached a tipping point that could jeopardize this storied creature's contributions to our thriving. Now, my path to porcine praise came later in life. I found the paleo diet in 2009, and following the release of my first paleo cookbook, it was this community of health seekers that steered my attention toward regenerative farming and understanding how our food was grown. Now, I like to condense human health and the sustainability of our planet down to three simple things: fertile soil, clean air and water, nutrient-dense food. I see a lot of head shaking. Charles, that makes total sense. What in the world do pigs have to do with any of this? I'm very glad you asked. We need to turn the page on our perception of pigs and recognize the immense contributions they have made and continue to make in the fields of medicine, farming, culinary, and skincare. These modern-day superheroes are an underappreciated linchpin in human and planetary thriving, and their future depends on how we choose to raise them. Now, never did I ever imagine I'd be standing here delivering this message today, but let me assure you all, the Lord works in mysterious ways. We're going to begin our hero journey in the medical field and the 2nd century. Galen, arguably the world's most famous concierge doctor to Marcus Aurelius, and the founder of key disciplines like anatomy, physiology, neurology, credits much of his understanding of the human body to pigs. As Susan Matters points out in her book, The Prince of Medicine, Galen would frequently perform public dissections of pigs to demonstrate the function of organs and nerves in the body. Now, fast forward to today, our hero sits center stage. Up until the last decade, nearly every surgeon on the planet trained using pigs. We harvest hormones and precious fluids from pigs for direct use in medical care: heparin, insulin, bile extracts. If your grandmother got a heart valve replacement last month, there's a good chance she's walking around with some pig parts. Pigs are saving human lives by the thousands. Johns Hopkins was recently awarded over $21 million to advance the viability of our hero addressing the global organ donor shortage. Pigs' contributions in the medical field are vast. However, it's the field of farming that I believe needs the most attention. According to the Sentience Institute, 98.6% of the pork raised in this country is raised in the factory farming model. Now, pigs, just like us, need sunshine, exercise, clean air and water to thrive. And sadly today, 98 out of 100 of them never see that. Pigs love the outdoors and got plenty of it until the 1970s, when the pork industry in this country transitioned from small farms and outside to concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFOs. Now, in the last 50 years, we have turned our would-be hero into a villain. The 2008 publication CAFOs Uncovered documents how pig manure is transformed from this valuable, critical soil input into a concentrated toxic sludge that routinely poisons our air and water. Pigs love to root. Their noses are uniquely shaped and formed for the task. The Journal of Veterinary Behavior documented that pigs rooting or digging was an essential function and not directly tied to hunger. Now, in addition to manure buildup, factory pork farming is done on concrete, denying our hero this basic and essential function. Ask yourself, how miserable and depressed would you be if you were never given the opportunity to express your innermost self, what you were born to do? We are called to care for this earth, and sadly,
We are underutilizing and in many cases torturing one of our best tools to do so.
Now, I don't have to convince anyone here that the pig is a hero in the kitchen. But we do need to learn to look beyond bacon. Now, I'm not talking about that plant-based bacon alternative. Gross. No, I think instead we need to talk to, say, Michelin-starred chef Fergus Henderson. Now, he's the founder of the famed St. John restaurant in London and a prolific author of numerous books highlighting the culinary benefits of our hero from nose to tail. Beef tallow is getting all the rage and press amidst the MAHA, Make America Healthy Again movement today, but our culinary roots are baked, sautéed, and fried in lard, not tallow. In 1911, Procter & Gamble launched Crisco. They bleached the hydrogenated cottonseed oil and former engine lubricant. They bleached it white to resemble the prevalent cooking fat of the day, lard. The nail in the coffin of lard came during World War II when it was rationed for the war effort. This prized fat was removed from store shelves in our collective conscience for 4 years. It never recovered. We lost all but 3 heritage pig breeds raised specifically for their ability to grow extra fat. Now, the nutritional benefits of pork are remarkable, especially from the pastured model. A 2018 meat study in PubMed revealed that lard from the pastured model was less prone to oxidation due to the prevalence of saturated and monounsaturated fats. Further research by the Practical Farmers of Iowa in 2019 found that pork and pigs raised in the pastured model had a substantially better ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids. Folks, the swine is divine, but the lard is hard. And if we're willing to raise a pig properly, we are rewarded handsomely in the kitchen, undeniably on the landscape, and quite possibly on our skin. A 2023 study in metabolomics of human sebum found that it was especially rich in triglycerides and free fatty acids. It also noted that palmitic and oleic fatty acids were especially useful in skin moisturization and barrier function. That's probably why the history books are filled with examples of pig skin and pig fat being used for wound care, salves, and skin treatments. Now, the skincare industry, for the last several decades, has been overtaken
By the vegan ethos, which hypocritically espouses no animal should be harmed in the making of a skincare product. Yet if we look at the Journal of Agriculture and Environmental Ethics, we learn that over 1.8
billion wild animals die in this country every single year at the hand of crop agriculture. If we go to the National Eczema Association, we learn that chronic skin conditions are on the rise in developed nations, and children are bearing the brunt of that impact. Folks, this does not make any sense. We have more skincare products, we have more skincare routines, we have more skincare professionals than ever before in history, and yet our skin health suffers? Maybe, perhaps. Our skin does not like or recognize the petroleum derivatives, the plant or seed oils that we've been feeding it and that dominate the ingredient list of skincare products today. I launched a lard-based skincare company in 2022 following a rather remarkable recovery from an extremely nasty sunburn. Based on my experience and the countless number of feedback I get from my customers, I believe we're long overdue to return a past hero to the skincare industry. For the very reasons pasture-raised lard excels in the kitchen, it has a near spot-on match to the lipid matrix of our skin. It's non-comedogenic. And in 2017, it was deemed safe for use by the Cosmetic Ingredient Review. Now, Lord willing, more people will hear this message and consider changing up their skincare routine. If you can't tell by now, I really love pigs. When I was farming them, the most common question I got was, Charles, if you love them so much, how can you raise them up and then kill them for food? Man, it's such a good question. Here was my answer. My pigs have one bad day. We should all be so lucky. None of us get to escape death. It's one of the reasons life is so very precious. Why am I here today? Because for far too many pigs in this country, the only good day they have is the day we end their life. We need to do everything we can to raise pastured pork production in this country from the paltry 1 or 2% it is today to 5 or 10% in the coming decade. Our hero deserves better, and you'd have to be pretty pig-headed not to understand that after today. So what do? Well, here's the good news.
You, the consumer, have more power today than ever before in history. So there is nothing stopping you from walking into your grocery store and asking the manager, hey, can you carry pastured pork? Carry local pork.
Or you could go to eatwild.com and maybe find a pastured pork farmer near you. Pay them a visit, shake their hand, thank them for the incredible work they're doing to give our hero the very best life possible. You might get lucky enough to scratch a pig's belly. I can assure you, it's a life-altering experience. We owe it to our hero and ourselves to raise pigs with respect and not let 1 ounce of this incredible, incredible resource go to waste. My name is Charles Mayfield, and may the Lord be with you all. Thank you.